Hello, my crafty friends. Well, today I have some fun little card ideas that I want to share with you that feature a one-sheet wonder for creating gift cards. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, I have a variety of card ideas that I want to share with you that feature a little one-sheet wonder technique. So basically, we are going to cut up a full sheet, a 12 by 12 inch sheet of designer paper, and you will be able to create 2 gift cards and 2 regular cards from that one sheet of designer paper. So it's pretty cool. Now the cards in this video feature the Cottage Wreaths Bundle from Stampin' Up. So I will be using a variety of images from this set to create these cards. And the bundle also features a variety of coordinating dies. So the Country Wreaths die set is what I will be using to cut out some of the wreath images and the little bows to decorate the cards. I will also be featuring the Fabulous Frames dies. So these particular dies have a variety of different things that you can use to create little frames or little accent pieces for your cards. So I'm going to be using this medium-sized frame in the middle here. So we are going to play around with this little technique to create a little gift card holder. So this is what it looks like on the inside. You can tuck a little gift card in there. And then we are also going to be using up the scrap pieces that are left from creating the gift card holder. So we'll have a large triangular piece that's left over, and we'll be able to create another card with that particular piece. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so we are going to start with the gift card holder first. So I'm going to show you how to make the gift card holders using this red Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. You can use any Designer Series paper that you have on hand to create these cards. So let me show you how to do this. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut a 5 1/4 by 12 inch piece of designer paper. So you can actually cut 2 of these from one 12 by 12 inch piece of designer series paper. And then you're just going to score it at 4 inches and at 8 inches. So you're going to have 3 4-inch sections on your designer series paper. So it'll look like that. Each of these sections is 4 by 5 1/4 inches. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create our little diagonal section for the inside of the card. So I know that this is going to be the front of my card, and that little gift card section, that diagonal section, is going to fold over on the inside. So I want to cut this piece diagonally. So it's going to be this first section that I'm going to cut diagonally. So you want to line up the score line. So this would be the top right and the lower left corner. So the left corner will be in the track here of my paper trimmer, and the score line will also be in the track. And then you're just going to make a diagonal cut from the corner to that score line. And you're going to save this piece because we're going to create a regular card with this leftover piece. And then this is what we are going to use for our gift card holder. All right, so this is what the outside of my gift card holder looks like. So basically this is the front of the card, this piece here. And then I have a 4-inch section in the middle, and then I have this diagonal piece that comes over. So this is going to be the place where we create the pocket for our gift card holder. So the first thing I did is I cut a variety of cardstock to decorate the inside of the card. So I cut 2 pieces of garden green cardstock, and these pieces measure 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So we're going to put 1 on each side on the inside of the card. And then I cut 2 pieces of white cardstock. So these pieces measure 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 inches. So these are also going to go on the inside of the card like that. So before I do that, what I want to do is just stamp on one of them. So I'm going to stamp on this one. And I'm just going to add a little wreath image from this set. So I recommend stamping first before you adhere it, just so that in case you don't like your stamped image, you can always flip your white cardstock over and redo it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adhere all of these pieces together. So I'm going to adhere the white cardstock to this garden green. And then I'm going to adhere this one directly to that flap on the inside of the card. So because we're using designer paper, this will just kind of help strengthen your designer paper so your card is not flimsy. And then we will go ahead and add this green piece on the inside. So that's what it looks like on the inside. So now we can create that little pocket for the gift card. So basically this piece is just going to fold over, and what we're going to do is just add some glue to the bottom here. And we're going to fold this over and let it adhere. Now you can use tear and tape or whatever you want to use to secure this to the bottom, but you just have to give it just a couple of minutes for the glue to set up. Okay, so now what we've created is this little pocket in here that fits, you know, a gift card or anything else that you want to just kind of tuck into this little pocket. And then on this side, I just did a little bit more decorating. I just cut out one of the little bows using one of the country wreath dies. So it's this very detailed little bow, and I just cut it out using real red so it matches my designer paper. And I'm just going to glue this down to the inside of the card. So that just kind of decorates the inside of the card. You still have plenty of room here to stamp a message or handwrite a message, and then you have space for your gift card or whatever you want to tuck in there. All right, so now we can close the card and we can decorate the front. Okay, so to decorate the front, I just used one of those fabulous frames. And so I just cut it out from a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to adhere this first. We'll just adhere this outside piece first. And I'm just going to adhere it right to the center of the card. And once you have that frame adhered, then you can go ahead and adhere this centerpiece. Now, the nice thing about this frame is you don't have to use this centerpiece if you don't want to, but I wanted to kind of break up the red in the background, so I'm going to use it. So the next thing I did is just stamped one of the wreath images on a scrap piece of white cardstock using this garden green ink. And then I just cut it out with the coordinating die from the set. So I'm just going to add this right to the center of my card. I just kind of popped it up with some dimensionals. And then the same bow that I used on the inside of the card, I'm also using on the outside. So we'll decorate our wreath with this cute little bow. And then I stamped a variety of little berries on a scrap piece of white cardstock. And there's a coordinating die, of course, that you can cut out your little berries. So I'm just going to pop these up with a couple dimensionals. All right, so there is our wreath. So I just have a little greeting here that I stamped on a 1/2 inch wide piece of cardstock. So you might have to just trim it down a little bit to get it to fit underneath here, but I just kind of have it going off the side, you know, up to the side of the card and tucked under the wreath. So that's really it for the decorating. For the finishing touch, you can add any embellishments that you want. I just added a couple of rhinestones to the top and to the bottom of the card. So then you end up with just a super cute little gift card holder, and it's just a great way to use up your designer paper because you could actually showcase both the inside and outside of the designer paper. In this case, I decided not to do that. I decided not to showcase the inside because I thought it was a little too busy. So I added these other pieces on the inside, but you don't necessarily have to do that. So just get creative with it. Okay, so the second card that I created features just a basic card design. This is not a gift card holder. I just decided to use that leftover triangular piece from creating the gift card to just create another Christmas card. So let me show you how I made this. So you're going to start with a piece of real red cardstock for the base of your card. So this is just your standard cardstock base. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4.25 inches to create the base of the card. The next thing I did is I just took that leftover triangular piece and just adhered it right to the card front. So it has a really nice matting around it because the piece is 5.25 by 4 inches, which is the same size as that gift card holder when it's closed. So it makes a really nice background for the card. And then I pretty much decorated it in the same way. So I'm going to add one of these fabulous frames to the front. And I just cut this out from a piece of white cardstock. And then we'll just add this middle piece. So that becomes the focal point for the card. And then we will add our little Merry Christmas right away. And then we can go ahead and add our little wreath right to the center. And then just decorate it up with the little bow. And then just add the little holly berries. And of course our little rhinestones. And then you just have a really beautiful card. And it's just a great way to use up that scrap piece of designer paper. Okay, so that's the outside of the card. So now we are going to decorate the inside of the card. Okay, to decorate the inside, we're going to start with a 4 by 5.25 inch piece of white cardstock. And then we're going to use some of the leftover designer paper to decorate the inside. So you have enough to add little pieces to the inside of your card to decorate. And you also have enough to decorate the envelope as well if you want to use up the entire 12 by 12 inch piece. So this is just a 3/4 inch wide by 5 inch piece. And we're just going to put it right on the left side of our white cardstock. So the next thing I did is I just stamped another wreath image just using some garden green ink. So I stamped that on the inside of the card. And then I'm just going to add another little bow here. So you can add a sentiment, or you can leave this blank on the inside if you wanted to do some writing. But I just thought this decorated up the inside of the card very nicely. And then we will just add this directly to the inside section. All right, so there you go. That's the inside and that's the outside. Okay, and these last two card ideas are decorated in the exact same way. I just used the garden green paper instead of the real red gingham paper. So these are the two cards kind of side by side. So this is the one I just showed you how to make, and then this is the one I made with the garden green. So what you might notice is that this one is a little bit taller than this one. So you can create, you know, the length of your card can be any length you want. You have a 12 by 12 inch piece of designer paper. So when I created this card, I cut my designer paper at 5.25 by 12. And then I scored it so that I had 3/4 inch sections. This piece, I cut a little bit longer. So I cut it at 5.5 inches long. So it was 5.5 by 12. So this card is almost standard size. It's 4 inches by 5.5. So remember, it's 4 inches because we have 3 sections that are 4 inches wide. So we have this 4-inch section, this 4-inch section, and then of course our little gift card section. So this one's 5.5 by 4. This one is 5.25 by 4. So you have some ability to either make your cards just a little bit bigger, or you can make them smaller. So it's just kind of fun, just another way that you can use that designer paper to make a little bit larger card. So what that means for the extra card is that when you go to make your standard size card, if you're cutting your gift card at 5 1/4 by 12, you're going to end up with, a 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece. If you're making your card a little bigger and using a 5 1/2 by 12, then you're going to end up with a little bigger piece here. So you'll notice that there's a little bit of matting around this one, and there's no matting around this one. So both are very beautiful. It just depends on how you want to cut your paper to make these cards. Okay, so there you go. Now you have a fun little way to use up a 12 by 12-inch piece of designer series paper to create some gift cards and some regular cards. Now you can use this idea for Christmas cards, or you can use it for creating cards for any other occasion. And if you enjoyed these card ideas, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the cards shared here today. Have a fun and creative day, my friends. Take care.